A shadow of a woman hanging in the background, the room lit by a single candle. The doll's reflection smiling in the glass eye. Never believed in haunted things. Ghost stories were just bedtime thrills or campfire lies until I inherited her house. The one in the hills. The one where my grandmother died, with her eyes wide open, arms twisted at impossible angles, and mouth stretched in a scream no one heard. The official cause: fell down the stairs. But that doesn't explain the blood written on the wall beside her. She knows. I hadn't been back to the countryside in over 15 years. Not since my mother took me and ran, calling Grandma mad, calling the house cursed. Now both of them were dead. I was all that remained. The lawyer handed me a single key and a note with 3 words written in Grandma's spidery handwriting: "Don't free her." The house smelled like dust, dried flowers, and forgotten secrets. Time hadn't touched the place. The same wallpaper, the same tea kettle, the same grandfather clock, frozen at 3:17 a.m. I walked through slowly. Every step echoed, and then I found it. A small room, sealed with 3 rusty locks. I broke them. Inside was a glass cabinet, and inside that sat a porcelain doll. Pale skin, black eyes, a faded pink dress. It sat upright, hands folded on its lap, staring straight at a bed that hadn't been slept in for decades. And on the glass-offed cabinet, written in reverse with what looked like lipstick, were the words, "She watched it all." I should have left, but I didn't. I was drawn to the doll. Its eyes seemed too real. Not painted, almost glassy, reflective, alive. I whispered, "Who are you?" The wind knocked against the window in reply. I spent the night in the house. Around 3 a.m., I heard footsteps upstairs, but I was the only one here. When I tiptoed up, the doll was still locked in the cabinet. But something had changed. There was now a small crack in the glass near her eye. I leaned in, and I swear, saw a tear. The next morning, I found an old photo album in the attic. Inside were pictures of Grandma as a girl, standing beside the same doll. Always with her. Holidays, birthdays, even by the graves of family members long gone. There was one photo. Here my young grandma stood smiling while someone else hid behind the curtains. Barely visible, a man, or what looked like one, he wore a wide-brimmed hat, face blurred, as if the camera refused to remember him. Underneath, in pen, "He comes when we open her." Later that day, I heard something fall in the doll's room. The cabinet was wide open, and the doll was gone. Panic gripped me. I searched every room, breath short, heart racing. Finally, I found it sitting on my bed, head tilted, dressed dirtier than before. In its lap was a locket. I opened it. Inside was a picture of my mother, age 10, tears in her eyes. And opposite that, scratched into the metal, "She lied to protect you." My mother never spoke of her childhood, never visited Grandma, always changed the topic. Now I knew why. I flipped the locket over. Burned into the back was a single name, Edith. That night, the nightmares started. I saw Grandma screaming in her bedroom, the doll on the floor, a shadow man beside her. But the doll, it wasn't just watching, she was smiling. I woke up drenched in sweat. The doll was sitting at the foot of my bed, no longer smiling, just watching. I took it back to the cabinet, locked it, tied chains around it, hung garlic, lit candles, salted the floors. But the next night, the chains were on my bedroom door. The cabinet was empty, and written in blood. Across my window, we watched her die. I fled to the village that morning, asked the librarian, the shopkeeper, the old priest. Anyone, only one answered. A woman with cloudy eyes and a crooked spine. You've seen her, haven't you, Edith? Who was she? I asked. Her voice dropped to a whisper. She was never just a doll. Your grandmother made a deal. To bring your mother back from pneumonia, she offered a soul. But souls don't come free. She paused. Edith needs to see suffering. She feeds on guilt, secrets, and watching pain. She doesn't kill. She makes others do it. My skin crawled. She made my grandmother. Yes, and she make you, unless you finish what your family started. I returned to the house at dusk, armed with matches, holy water, prayers. The doll was back in the cabinets, smiling now. I screamed, "What do you want?" A whisper answered from inside the walls. The truth. And then the house showed me. The floor creaked. The walls peeled back. I was inside a memory, young grandma, crying, holding the doll behind her. A man shouting, her father. He raised his hand. The doll's eyes glowed. He stopped, dropped, foamed at the mouth, dead. Another flash, my mother, age 10, holding the doll, hiding in the closet. Someone was on the floor, bleeding. Grandma stood over him with a knife. My mother whispered through tears. Edith said, "He hurt you." The room vanished. The truth hit me like ice water. Every woman in my family had been used by Edith, tricked into murder, cloaked in vengeance. But the doll never killed. She watched, made them do it, and now it was my turn. That night, I locked all the doors. Built a fire, took the doll and whispered, "No more." She blinked, her mouth opened. A sharp scream pierced the room, not from her mouth, but from inside my own head. I saw every memory, every kill, every lie, every scream, and then silence. I threw her into the fire. She laughed. Her face bubbled, cracked, and then the flames turned blue. A final whisper echoed in the room. "I'll always be watching." And then she was gone. Ashes, silence. The next morning, I left the house. For good. But before I could lock the front door, I saw it in the corner of the living room. A brand new doll. Plastic, eyes black, dress pink, smile familiar on her lap. A note she always returns.